Okay, good evening and welcome back to another Thursday night golf show. Hope you're all well, having a good week. UK wise, British weather has been pretty grim this week, so you've been lucky if you managed to get a game in from Monday to Thursday anyway, so hopefully some better weather for the weekend for you to get out there. Hope you're all enjoying the golfing season. Right, let's get stuck straight in. Got a fair bit to mention, and don't forget in tonight's show I'll be announcing the winners of the three prizes that we've been running for quite some time over on the winwithtiuplo.com website. So hang around, I'll be now announcing those at the end of the show, and don't fast forward and just skip to that bit now, watch the in-between. Right, let's start off with last weekend's golf. Don't always cover the kind of results of the previous weekend simply because it tends to be a duplication. We all know who's won by this time of the week, so try to stay away from that unless there's something specific to talk about. And in this case, two things I want to mention. Travellers over in the US, unbelievable, no doubt you'll have all seen it multiple times by now. If you haven't, then watch Jordan Spieth holing out from the bunker in the playoff hole to win last Sunday. Incredible finish, incredible golf shot. Great to see Spieth. You knew you were never going to keep that lad down for too long. He's been out of the winner's circle, but again, looked, I mean, that shot was unreal. But what I liked more than anything was the excitement. Yes, it was a dramatic hole out, but the way in which he celebrated that shot, I just loved. A young lad, obviously plenty of energy that goes in. Yes, you're fulfilled, lots of excitement. He's chest pumping his caddy, the crowd has gone wild. And I just think why I want to focus on that is previous week I mentioned about Brooks Koepka's celebration of the US Open. His almost looked like relief when he held the winning putt, so I can kind of I suppose there's all kinds of different emotions when that winning shot goes in, and like I said, Spieth was particularly spectacular, so they are on different levels, but I just really enjoyed the enthusiasm in which and the energy which Spieth showed when he held that winning bunker shot. And I just wish there was just more of that from players on the tour, because I just think it generates so much more excitement. It looked like Spieth really enjoying what he does, really enjoying that whole moment. And it takes me back to kind of like the best golf that I like watching throughout the whole calendar, which is the Ryder Cup. And the Ryder Cup generates so much excitement. And I think it generates excitement, A, because yeah, it's a match play event, and there's an immediate winner or loser situation, but it's just that the fist pumping, that kind of the excitement when a putt goes in. It's just that whole enthusiasm gets you bought into that whole game. And I just think, and I mentioned like the golf sixes that some tried in the UK in May time, which was, there was a bit of music going on, there was a bit of high fives and fist pumps and all the rest of it. And again, maybe you kind of love it or hate it in terms of how that went down, but I just think that whole enthusiasm and excitement surrounding the game just gives it a brand new, a whole different lift, and I love Spieth's celebration. So again, question is there, how do you think we can just liven things up a bit? Do you like the over-the-top celebration that came from Spieth, or do you prefer the more sedated approach that Brooks Koepka took the previous week, or is it just about the personal, the individual, and the emotions, the different emotions that are running through your head at that time? Moving on back to the, well, not to the UK, but the European Tour, sorry. You've seen the win, or will have heard of the win, Andreas, is it Romero? Won after a 10-year absence from winning on the European Tour. He won the BMW International Invitational. The reason, again, I want to talk about Romero was I remember this lad coming along 10, 12 years ago. And when he came onto the scene, and I've got a recollection of that I thought was the BMW, or what was the Wentworth event. I seem to remember him doing extremely well there, but I might be wrong. But he certainly, the whole drama 10 years ago was when he shot 10 birdies on the final round at Carnoustie, the Open, the one that eventually Padraig Harrington won. The Sergio Garcia rower-upped from that time. But on that day, Romero shot 10 birdies in the final round. Looked like he was going to be right up there and potentially win. And he again dropped some shots on, I can't remember exactly what it was, I know it was the closing holes, and fell away a little bit. Then all of a sudden the guy disappears. 10 years later, he appears and wins, and this was based on an invite, a sponsor's invite is how he got in, otherwise he wouldn't have qualified to play. So the question that I got was, I remember Romero, and like I said, what great potential he had, and I don't know what's happened between now and then, but he's back anyway. But I just want to do, you can remember from your own golfing memories, is who's failed to deceive, who has literally come onto the scene thinking they're potential world beaters and got real opportunities, and then all of a sudden disappeared from grace. And I'm sure when you put your mind to it, you'll come up with a few names. You'll be quite surprised when you think back to, like I said, there has been quite a few that at one point you think they're going to real dominate the game, or certainly be one of the major players going forward, and then unfortunately that never kind of comes to fruition. So have a think back. Right, where do we go from here? Let's see which way we're going to do this. I think I'm going to go on to the fellow YouTuber scenario, and that involves Rick Shiels, Peter Finch and Andy Carter from Improve My Golf. And I think you've got to really take your hat off to all three of them, and I just want to say personally congratulations. And the congratulations is, unfortunately, they've failed in their quest for the Open, but the congratulations is because they literally put themselves out there to attempt to qualify for the Open under what must be the most extreme pressures compared to the other people in the field that are trying to do it. And I just can't imagine how tough that must be. I noticed, and you'll have seen if you follow, that there was a crowd turned up at West Lancs Golf Club on Monday of this week, all adding pressure to probably Rick Shiels and Peter Finch in particular, but no doubt following Andy Carter as well. They all put up respectable performances. I think 4 over, 5 over, and maybe 7 or 8 over for Andy Carter. I think it was Peter Finch was 5 over, Rick Shiels 4 over. And like I said, I think, you know, I play in some of these match play against our subscribers, and the minute the camera gets switched on, it is very, very hard to maintain your regular game that you might play at the weekend with your pals, and it's nerve-wracking. I find it affects my game. I struggle with it, to be quite honest with you. And for them lads to step up on a tee for Open qualifying, I think it takes a lot of guts, let me tell you. Irrelevant of how they scored, they all performed respectable, all put in good scores, but literally just to stand there on that first tee and expose yourself in that way takes a lot of balls, let me tell you. So hat goes off to all three. Sorry that unfortunately you didn't qualify, but there was some unbelievable news, obviously, and again, if you're following YouTube, and no doubt if you watch this channel then you'll watch Rick Shiels, then he had a hole-in-one on the 17th, so that is a congratulations, his first one I believe, and what a great time to do it. So well done all three of you, and I don't know whether you do it next year, but hopefully you do that and maybe get better luck next time round. Right, now then, I have just put up last night a video from our, I mentioned we had, and I say we now because I'm referring to both Golf Vlogs UK, Liam and myself, did our York trip, which I mentioned last week. But video went up last night. If you've not watched it, then here's a short clip from our day 1 trip, and day 2 will be out very, very shortly.
Started with butties. What was it before then? What do you have this morning?
Water.
Water.
Tea.
Teas now. Have you brought anything?
Yeah,
apart
but
from your A game.
I'm superstitious. I only normally eat white tea.
Yeah, mate.
Is it a tall one?
Yeah. Alright.
Yeah, yeah.
Alright.
Tea or pie?
Look at that, I didn't even give you any promo after all that. Right.
Yeah, so day one was kind of almost a friendly. You'll see the second half of that match is on Golf Vlogs UK, and then in the next few days, probably early next week, we'll release day two. And I've already said day two is an absolute blinder, so do not miss that one. And I also mentioned in last week's show that there was the potential to organise a two-day event similar to what we've played in. So it was York Golf Club overnight stay, Sandburn Hall, day two, maybe get it into a bit of a Ryder Cup event. And I'm pretty much certain that's going to go ahead. We had a lot of interest. I announced it on this channel, and so did Liam on Golf Vlogs UK. A lot of people put their names forward as showing interest, so that's fantastic. Thank you for that. And because of that, we've now put some dates forward, and it looks like it is going to happen. It's just about confirming a date. But if you want to stick this one in the diary, at the moment, it's looking like the 17th of September, which is a Sunday. So first day Sunday, overnight stay Sunday night, and we'll play Monday, and then everyone make their way off home. Now, I can't confirm it, but that is the date that we're looking at. All we're trying to do is book tee times in. The likelihood is the first one that we do, there's been a lot of interest, it'll be restricted to 32 players. I think that's how we're going to play it anyway. So it'll be a case of stick that one in the diary. I suppose if you want to make firm interest in it and you're pretty much definite and that date looks good, there's no harm in info@teuplo.co.uk. Send in an email with your contact details there. And it's going to be, unfortunately, it'll be a first come first serve basis. So the interest that was shown, I think the 32 will be done quite quickly, but I can't confirm costs or anything yet, so I realise you're all going to need some indication of the money and things like that, but I'll do that hopefully in next week's show. But I just thought I'd give you a heads up on the date and how it's looking so far. Right, that's enough from me for this week. All we've got to do now is announce some winners. Now, this was an absolute drama because let's first of all, US Open winners. I asked you to pick US Open winners last week. Didn't announce the winners, I forgot that one. Two people got Brooks Koepka. That was Paul Crossland, well done Paul, and Jack Dyer Slade. Well done to you, Jack, as well. Both picked Brooks. Delivery of your golf caps, to your upload caps, has gone out tonight. You'll receive them, I would hope, fingers crossed, tomorrow. I'm filming this 24 in advance, so by the time you're watching this show, hopefully you've got them. Yeah, I forgot that bit. Now then, on to the biggies. We have got 3 prizes to give away, and the drama was that there's all these kind of apps, I suppose you call them, where you load in the personal data and everyone's entry forms, and essentially press a button and it comes up with a random pick, which is fine. The issue we've had is filming it, and filming it, everything that we've seen was exposing too much personal data. Anyway, we've made the draw, it's been done. You'll have to take my word for it because it's caused so much drama, and we nearly ended up not announcing winners again this week because we were trying to work out where we were going to film the draw, so to speak. So, the names that come out the hat are, so we're going to start with Tagger's £100 voucher goes to James Plackett. Now James, congratulations, we've got your email address, we'll make contact probably tomorrow, and we'll arrange some kind of voucher code and how you can use that on the Taggers website. Well done. Next prize, Type R driver from Ben Ross. That is going to John Wood. So John, I hope you're ready for a new driver because you've just won yourself a Ben Ross, which from my review was very, very good indeed. Same again, email coming your way, John. Now then, the big one, if you like, was sponsored by Glencore Golf. It was the 2-day trip, or 2 nights, 3 days, Quinta de Vale. Absolutely superb golfing trip. We've already got Mark Sheen going on one. He's booked in for the trip, the sponsored trip he did earlier on in the year. That was at La Manga. And now this winner is, wait for it, Mark Jones. You have won yourself a trip to Quinta de Vale, and it looks absolutely superb. Well done to you. Well done to all those that entered, or and unlucky that you didn't win this time, but we've run those 3 prizes for the last 6-8 weeks. We're going to announce another 3 prizes very, very soon. So the way the website will work is that those 3 will be pulled off and we'll put 3 more on, and same rules apply. Get your names entered into those as well for a chance to win soon. But it's giving something a little bit back. Obviously, we're very appreciative to Ben Ross, who donated the driver, and both to Glencore Golf, who donated the sponsored prize of the holiday as well. So thanks to them. Right, I hope you enjoyed this week's show. As ever, thank you very much for watching. I don't like making appeals for... We need thumbs up, like I said in last week's show. It helps the videos apparently in terms of promotion and where else suggested videos on different links and whatnot. So if you can, stick a thumbs up. If you can't be bothered, then don't. It's no great panic. But like I said, appreciate your support, appreciate you watching. Comments down below. I'll make every attempt to reply to as many as I possibly can. Have a good weekend, and I'll see you next week, which there'll be a video out very soon of the Callaway Epic Hybrid. That should be with you probably Tuesday next week. Right, I'll shut up. See you next week. Bye.